A strong reaction across the board with this leak. SCOTUS blog reacted last night on Twitter, writing in part, "It is impossible to overstate the earthquake this will cause inside the court in terms of the destruction of trust among the justices and staff. This leak is the gravest, most unforgivable sin." And joining us now to discuss is Carrie Severino, president of the Judicial Crisis Network. Carrie, welcome back. Always great to have you on. We have a lot to get to today, but first, I'm curious, what was your reaction when you first heard about the leak?
You know, I think the SCOTUS blog had it exactly right. It is a earth-shattering thing to have not just a leak of any sort from the Supreme Court is incredibly rare, vanishingly rare, but to have a full draft opinion in the most significant case, maybe of this century, being leaked in this way is truly shocking. And I think it just shows the depth to which the liberal activists, and now maybe even activists from within the court, we're guessing this is probably the law clerk to one of the liberal judges, are willing to go in order to really intimidate the justices and try to bring pressure from the outside in this key decision involving Roe versus Wade.
Yeah, and Carrie, I mean, obviously, you know the Supreme Court very well. You were also a clerk for Justice Clarence Thomas. I mean, honestly, how do you think this happened? And talk a little bit more about why.
Yeah, so the decisions are held incredibly close to the vest of the Supreme Court. It really would be just the 9 justices and their clerks, 4 clerks apiece, that would have had access to them. Sure, people have said maybe some staff member, snuck an opinion. Theoretically possible. I think this is the most likely scenario. Is it's one of their clerks that would have done this, and this is an opinion that would have been circulated to the court in February, apparently, for a majority of the justices. So this is really amazing to see that Justice Alito's incredibly strong opinion on the issue of life and of Roe versus Wade, and recognizing that the Constitution does not create a right to abortion in any way, either explicitly or implicitly, and we have a long history in America of protecting unborn life that goes completely opposed to this right that was invented out of whole cloth in 1973. So the decision is very clear. It's not, I can't say concise, because it does run to over 67 pages and then also 30 pages of appendix, but it goes systematically through the questions and makes it clear why the court must overturn this egregiously wrong decision. And I think that's a wonderful step for our nation.
Absolutely, it is. I want to go back to, the leak, which is obviously very, very concerning. Chief Justice John Roberts called the leak a betrayal of confidence that was intended to undermine the integrity of the court's operations. Furthermore, he called for an investigation into the leak. That said, what type of impact do you think that this has on the integrity of the high court, and can it be restored?
Yeah, it is a real blow to the court. This used to be known as the one institution in D.C. that didn't leak, and that's not the case. It's an incredible breach of trust within chambers to have that happen, and I think it will take a long time, if ever, before that level of confidence and trust can be rebuilt within the court. So it's a real attack on the institution. The Chief Justice is 100% correct on that, and I think there absolutely should be a thorough investigation. I think the person who did this should lose his or her job, and assuming they are an employee of the court, and also should be seriously reprimanded. People have speculated, if they're a member of the bar, they could even be disbarred, because this involves a real breach of trust, which is something that is very important to the legal profession. So I think the biggest worry for me, though, is this is part of a pattern. It's a pattern of intimidation against Supreme Court justices. We saw it in Justice Kavanaugh's outrageous attacks on Justice Barrett's Catholic faith. We saw it attacks on Justice Thomas's wife. So this is something that goes on, and I think it needs to stop. The attempts to strong arm the court into ruling in someone's way should not extend to this kind of threats, and now I think trying to foment real civil unrest over this decision. I hope the court officially releases the decision soon, because we know this is still just effectively a draft that's out there. I think they should officially release it just to put this issue to rest and to hopefully begin the process of moving forward.
Well, Carrie, thank you so much for your time and for your insights. We always appreciate it.
Thanks.